Asylum in Greece. The Admissibility Interview. If you have left your home country due to war or persecution and are in Greece, you have the right to asylum. To make use of this right, you have to apply for asylum at the Greek Asylum Service. Asylum is only granted under certain conditions. The Greek Asylum Service and EASO, European Asylum Office, examines whether your application fulfills these conditions. After full registration, if you are subject to border procedures and therefore subject to the admissibility interview, you will get an appointment for your admissibility interview. This could be with EASO or the Greek Asylum Service. Your admissibility interview may be combined with an interview to determine if you are vulnerable under Greek law, or with the eligibility interview to talk about why you left your country. If you are not sure which interview to prepare for, speak to a lawyer. For more information on vulnerability, preparing for your eligibility, see our other films on our YouTube channel or website. At the admissibility interview, an EASO or a Greek Asylum Service employee will listen to your story carefully and ask you questions in order to understand why you left Turkey and what would happen to you if you return there. Then the Asylum Service will decide whether you fulfill the criteria in order to recognise your claim as admissible. As such, the admissibility interview is very important. The interview is your chance to say what happened to you in Turkey and why you couldn't stay there. You can also say what would happen to you if you had to go back. You will only be allowed to ask for asylum in Greece if the Greek asylum employee believes that Turkey is not safe for you. You can show that Turkey is not safe for you by showing that your life or freedom are at risk because you belong to a particular ethnic group, because of your religion, because of your political activities, because of your skin colour, your sex, or your sexual orientation. You might be able to show that there is a risk Turkey will deport you to your home country, or that you are at risk of suffering serious harm in Turkey, or that you are at risk of being tortured or subject to cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment in Turkey, or that you are unable to apply for refugee status in Turkey, or that you have no connection to Turkey, for example you spent under 10 days in Turkey passing through. If you are able to show any of the risks mentioned here, this should be sufficient to find your case admissible, and you can continue with your case in Greece. To show that Turkey is not safe, you must show that the Turkish government will harm you, or that the Turkish state does not or cannot protect you from other people who will harm you in Turkey. Use the time between registration and your interview to prepare. It's important that you remember everything. Write your story down. We have a guide you can use and practice it by telling it to others. Describe everything in the order that it happened and with as much detail as possible. Each adult is heard individually. Stories are long and complicated. That's normal. You have the right to say everything that you find important without being interrupted. If you're not sure any more about certain dates or details, it's important that you say so. Don't make anything up. This will usually be noticed and can lead to your admissibility application being turned down. You'll be asked many questions about Turkey in the interview. Don't let that put you off. Get advice before the interview from a refugee advice centre or a specialised lawyer. If you have any evidence to back up your story, bring it with you to the interview. This could be photos, videos, emails, letters, documents, medical records, medicines or their packaging, newspaper articles, Facebook posts, witness statements, and so on. If there's other evidence that you still don't have, mention it at the interview, and say you will submit it when you can. The Greek Asylum Office, or EASO, will provide you with an interpreter. The interpreter is only allowed to translate what you say in the interview. If you don't understand the interpreter or don't trust him or her, say so, and stop the interview, even if it feels difficult. The Asylum Service provides interpretation services free of charge in the appropriate language. If you are a female, you may request a woman interpreter. Please say during the full registration of your application if you have reasons to prefer a caseworker or an interpreter of a particular sex. The interview is confidential. No one is allowed to share anything you say. It may feel difficult talking about bad experiences. That's normal. Don't let yourself be rushed. You can ask for a break during the interview. If necessary, you might have to continue on another day. Everything you say at the interview is noted in a report and audio recorded. At the end of the interview, you will be asked to confirm if you have anything else to add. If the interview was audio recorded, you will not be asked to sign the report. If an audio recording is not possible, the interview will be fully transcribed and you will be asked to sign it to confirm that the contents are correct. Listen carefully to the interpretation of what has been written in the transcript before signing to make sure that everything you said was accurately stated. You have the right to receive a copy of the report, transcript or audio recording, and you can request it in writing after the end of the examination interview. After the interview, more time will pass. If you do not hear anything, seek advice. You will be contacted by the Greek Asylum Service regarding your case. When the decision is made, it will be notified to you and you will be asked to sign a proof of notification, stating that a decision concerning your application was actually given to you. The Greek Asylum Service might need to contact you either by post, electronic mail, telephone call, or fax. So it is vital that the Greek Asylum Service has your up-to-date contact details. If you have changed your phone number or place of residence, please go to the closest regional asylum office and state your new number or address. If your claim is deemed to be admissible and Greece decides that Turkey is not a safe country to return you to, then you will also be interviewed to decide whether you will be granted asylum in Greece. This interview, called the eligibility interview, is where you talk about why you can't return to your country, and may be conducted at the same time as your admissibility interview, or may be scheduled on another day. If your claim is rejected and considered inadmissible, you can appeal the decision. For this, you have just a little time from the date you got your decision, so make sure you know how long you have to appeal. Look for a refugee advice centre or a lawyer immediately. Asylum is complicated. Whenever you have questions, look for help and advice. For more information, go to